My name is Bob Gerlach. I am the Health and Welfare Benefits Manager with Wespath. And today I'm going to introduce you to HealthFlex Exchange. We'll start with a video that'll give an overview of the exchange, and then I'll kind of walk through it a little bit. We'll hear about the plan choices, the premium credit, go over health accounts, the Alex decision support tool that hopefully most of you used last year, and then talk about how to make your elections in November during annual election. And then at the tail end, I'll give you an update on some changes to well-being benefits. It's a pretty short update.
HealthFlex Exchange. Health insurance provides a safety net to limit how much you have to pay if you or a family member is injured or becomes ill. It also helps finance the care needed to maintain good health. 6 options are available, so you can choose the value and peace of mind that best fit your needs. HealthFlex Exchange is a group health plan designed for United Methodist Church clergy, affiliated lay employees, and their families. This approach to choosing health coverage gives you choice, flexibility, and control over how you pay for health care, while helping the church facilitate health coverage for clergy and lay workers. HealthFlex Exchange offers a high-quality network of doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, and other providers. You will also be able to choose from multiple dental and vision benefit options. You will have access to a comprehensive, award-winning well-being program that includes incentive opportunities. There are health screenings, an activity program, numerous support tools, and so much more that can help you take the healthiest path through life. These are key to the HealthFlex commitment to well-being. HealthFlex Exchange puts you in control of your plan selection. With our online support tools, view side-by-side plan comparisons so you can choose the plan that you think best suits your family needs and financial risk tolerance in the case of emergencies. Welcome to HealthFlex Exchange.
So the concept of HealthFlex Exchange really introduces 2 main changes to the insurance you have today. The first is that you'll have more choices. Right now you have 2 plans to choose from, the C2000 with HRA and the H2000 with HSA. Those exact 2 plans still remain for 2019, and then there's 4 additional plans. That's the first change. The second change is that you will now have a premium credit given to you by the conference through billing of the local church that you use to shop for the plan that you want. Last year when you went through annual election, you would have seen 0 cost for all the plans because everything was being calculated by the conference on the back end. This year, you'll see the actual premium cost for all the plans and have that credit from the conference to purchase the plans that best suit your family and your needs. If there's money left over from that credit, if you buy down, that extra money goes into a health account. And if you buy up or don't have any extra money left, then you would be billed the difference through salary reductions on a monthly basis. This is very similar. In fact, it's almost the exact slide you probably saw last year when we talk about quality in the plan. Exact same vendors, national networks, formularies, same well-being programs, same generous incentives. The key difference is the choice. 6 combined medical, pharmacy, and behavioral health plans compared to the 2 you have today. Same 3 dental plan options that you had today, and same vision plan options. The key difference is that with all that choice, you have more control over how you want to use your benefits, how you want to spend the money on health care. Do you want to spend more on premium and potentially less out of pocket? Or do you want to spend less in premium and potentially a little more out of pocket? And you can use decision support tools like Alex and like the How Do I Choose brochure that's in your folder, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, along with other detailed plan materials to make your choice.
You will have 6 HealthFlex medical plans to choose from. 3 of the options are referred to as HSA plans. They are paired with a health savings account. 2 plans are referred to as HRA plans. They are paired with health reimbursement accounts. There is also a traditional plan, the B1000, which in most cases does not include either type of account. Both types of accounts cover medical expenses with allocated money on which you don't pay taxes. There are differences in how each plan works. All HealthFlex plans cover eligible well-person services in full with no out-of-pocket cost to you. including annual checkups and age-appropriate immunizations and screenings. But there are important differences in how these plans cover other services, like doctor visits, hospital care, and prescriptions. With the HSA plans, you will have to pay the full discounted costs for all services, including pharmacy, until you have paid your deductible. If you have covered dependents in one of the HSA plans, the deductible will be the family deductible, even if only one person has expenses. And with the HRA plans, you pay the full discounted cost of medical services only, until you have paid your deductible. Then the plan starts paying a percentage. For pharmacy and behavioral health expenses, the plan will pay for part, even if you haven't met the deductible. And with the traditional B1000, you will pay a fixed co-payment for some services like office visits, emergency care, and medications. But for other services, you will have to pay the full cost until you have paid the deductible. Each HealthFlex medical plan includes medical, prescriptions, and behavioral health coverage. Each plan offered is available to every participant, and overall, none are better or worse than the others. There are just options. You choose the plan that best suits your health and financial needs and how high you'd like your safety net to be. Some have lower premiums and higher out-of-pocket costs. Others have higher premiums and lower out-of-pocket costs. The choice is yours.
As I said, the two plans that you have today are the same, though they look a little bit different now. We've got the apples for each plan, and I'm going to explain those a little bit. So you'll see there's three different colors: gold, silver, and bronze, and those indicate how high the premium for the plan is. The gold are the highest premiums, the silver are a little lower, and the bronze are the lowest. The plan number or identifier is listed in the middle: the B1000, C2000, C3000, and H1500, H2000, H3000. And then each apple has a leaf, and the leaf indicates what type of health account comes with the plan. If it's a green that says HSA, it comes with an HSA. If it's a blue that says HRA, it comes with an HRA. And the B1000 has an orange leaf because it does not come with any health account. Whenever you see one of these apples, or whenever I call it a medical plan, it's really a combined plan that's medical, pharmacy, and behavioral health, plus any health account that comes with it. So you can see Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, OptumRx, WageWorks, and Optum for behavioral health, all the exact same as you have today. The video talked about safety net and where it is. And the concept with the premiums and the type of plans are that if you would like to have a closer safety net, then maybe you are someone who would like to pay a higher premium and then have potentially less out-of-pocket costs when you use services. On the flip side, maybe because you don't feel like you're going to use a lot of services, or because you just want to keep your premium low and deal with the expenses as they come, you could have your safety net a little further away, pay lower premiums, and then potentially higher out-of-pocket costs on services. All HealthFlex plans work the same as they do today, but just a quick refresher. So for all the plans, you meet your deductible before the plan pays for medical services. You can use any kind of health account money that you have, whether it's FSA, HSA, or HRA, to help pay for those expenses. Once you meet the deductible, you then share the cost with the plan. That's your coinsurance. And once you've met your out-of-pocket max, you do not pay anything else for services through the course of the year. The plan pays for all of it. So if you have, like we had someone in the last session who got a $70,000 bill from the hospital because they had some cardiac issues, they hit their out-of-pocket max, and that was all they paid. The plan paid the rest. Some of the plans have co-payments. Co-payments generally do not count towards the deductible because they are a benefit that you get before the deductible kicks in. I'll explain that a little more when we talk about the How Do I Choose brochure. So refresher, all the plans include the deductible that must be met. All have coinsurance. All still have 100% in-network coverage for wellness and preventative services, including immunizations, meaning you do not need to meet the deductible before you have any of those services. All of them have an out-of-pocket maximum that limits your exposure to medical costs. and they still use the same network and formularies. Now I'm going to direct you to the How Do I Choose booklet that's in your folder. It's the small half-page booklet, and if you could flip to the middle. Essentially what you have in the booklet there is what's on the screen, and I'm going to kind of talk you through what information is being shown here. You'll see that there's 3 different sets of columns: green columns for HSA plans, blue columns for HRA plans, and an orange column for the B1000, which is a traditional PPO type plan. Underneath those classifications of HSA, HRA, and B1000 are the plan names. The H plans are the HSA plans, the C plans are the HRA plans, and the B1000. The next line below there is health account funding, and many of you will be familiar with that because both plans that you have today do have health account funding. The amounts listed are the individual amount of funding that's available on January 1st, or the amount if 2 or more people are covered on the plan. The next line shows the deductible, the amount that you pay before the plan starts paying coinsurance. You'll note that the deductible for the individual matches the number that's in the plan name above. So the H1500 has a $1,500 deductible for an individual. When you double that amount, you get the family deductible. For HSA plans, just as it is for the H2000 today, if more than one person is covered in the plan, the full family deductible must be met. So as an example, my family, my wife, my daughter, and I are in the H3000 plan. If my daughter gets sick, if my wife goes to urgent care, the plan does not pay until we've hit the $6,000 deductible for the family. However, when I get my flu shot, when my daughter goes for her checkup, when my wife goes for her checkup, those are paid at 100% because those are preventative. Once we hit the out-of-pocket max, once we hit the deductible, that's when the plan will start paying coinsurance. That purple on the side, coinsurance, you pay part, plan pays part. The percentage on the left is the plan's responsibility. The percentage on the right is your responsibility. Going back to my family's example in the H3000 plan, once we hit the family deductible, the plan pays 40% and we are responsible for 60%. The next line down is the out-of-pocket max. The HSA plans, as I said, have a family deductible that must be met if more than one person is in the plan. That is unique to the HSA plans and unique to the deductible. The out-of-pocket max does not work that way. So while my family has to meet a $6,000 deductible before the plan pays, once we have paid expenses of $6,500 for an individual, that individual does not pay any more through the balance of the year. And once the family reaches that family amount, then the plan pays for everything for the family for the rest of the year. The last item shown here is pharmacy benefits. I want to call your attention to how HSA plans work. Exactly the same way as the H2000 works today, the plan does not pay for pharmacy coverage until that deductible is met. If it's an individual, it's the individual deductible. If it's more than one person in the plan, it's the family deductible. The HRA plans and the B1000 have first dollar pharmacy coverage, meaning you pay a copay for generics and coinsurance on brand name drugs, regardless of if you've met the deductible or not. If you turn the page to page 7 in the How Do I Choose, you should see a chart with the dots, I think, that's on the screen. This is just showing the similarities and differences in a different way. Going to call your attention to only 3 categories here where it's different. The first is on doctor, urgent care, and ER visits. The B1000, which is the highest premium plan, has copayments, fixed copayments for those services, meaning if you go in network, you pay the copayment and the plan pays the rest. The HSA and HRA plans, for those services, you meet your deductible and then coinsurance applies. For pharmacy, the HRA plans and B1000 plan have first dollar copayment or coinsurance, so you do not need to meet the deductible. Again, on the HSA plans for pharmacy benefits, you do need to meet the deductible before the plan pays. If you remember last year, I talked about how the pharmacy benefits work. I'll go over that again now. When we say the plan won't pay, that doesn't mean you still don't have a benefit to having pharmacy coverage. You will not pay that huge high retail cost that pharmaceutical companies place, the price tag they put on the drug. You still would pay that reduced cost. It's just you wouldn't get lowered down to the lowest possible because the plan is paying. Once you meet your deductible, then you'd get down to that lowest level in the HSA plans. For the HRA and B1000, you're already at that lowest level without meeting the deductible. And then the last category here, and this is one of the biggest changes we have to plans for next year, is on mental health outpatient counseling, therapy visits, things like that. The B1000, just like it has on office visits in ER and urgent care, has a copay. You pay your copay, and that's it. The plan pays the rest. With the HSA plans, you still have to meet the deductible before the plan will pay. That's IRS requirement to have these qualified to be paired with a health savings account. However, on the HRA plans, we have a little bit of flexibility. So to make this benefit richer, what we've done is for outpatient counseling visits, you do not have to meet the deductible before the plan will pay. The plan will pay its coinsurance. So if you're in the C2000 plan, which is one of the plans available to you today, next year if you had a $100 therapy visit, the plan would pay $80 and you would pay $20. We have another change we've made to the outpatient counseling benefits. Because that network is not as broad as we would like it to be, and because it's a very personal relationship that people have with their therapists and we don't want them to have to try to find someone in network, what we've done is we've made the out-of-network benefit equal the in-network benefit. So if we go back to my example of the C2000, if the cost of an hour session is $100 in the C2000 and you're in network, you pay $20, the plan pays $80. If you go out of network and that therapist charges $200, you will still only pay $20 and then the plan picks up the rest, the $180. It will work the same way on an HSA plan where you'll get 80% coinsurance and we'll waive the difference, that balance bill difference. So let's say it's a $100 office visit or therapy visit in network on the HSA plans in the H1500, and it would be $200 out of network. In network, you would pay the full $100 because you haven't met your deductible yet. Out of network, you would also pay only $100. So it would be based on the reasonable and customary charges, and then we'd waive the balance billing, or we'd actually pay the balance billing so that that therapist would not bill you. This chart is saying the same thing, just in a different way. It's the one that was in the video. I like this one because it's kind of the higher level, the overarching. For HSA plans, it's deductible and coinsurance. Yes, it could be a copay in pharmacy, but overall, you're meeting your deductible before the plan pays. When you get to the HRA plan, it's deductible and coinsurance for those medical services. Behavioral health is coinsurance without meeting deductible. And then prescription drugs, you have that first dollar, so you're paying a copay or your coinsurance. And then the B1000 has just copayments for those medical office visits, urgent care, ER visits, and behavioral health visits. Then deductible and coinsurance for hospitalization and other medical services. And again, first dollar coverage, either copay or coinsurance on pharmacy benefits. With 6 plans and the changes, there's obviously a lot to consider. We have Alex again this year. Hopefully many of you used it last year and found it useful in anticipating what your costs would be. I would say that it's more critical this year because you have more choices. You have 3 times as many choices. Alex has also been enhanced to account for dental and vision needs and considerations. Your dental and vision plans are the same. I am not going to go over those in detail. You do have handouts in your folder. There's a dental side-by-side and a vision side-by-side comparing the plans. It's a little prettier than what we had last year, but the information is largely the same. And then the next thing, I talked at the beginning how there's two major changes to how your insurance works today and how it works next year. And that's the 6 plan options instead of 2 and the premium credit.
Although you will choose your HealthFlex plan, your employer helps you pay for it. Your annual conference or other UMC employer designates a premium credit to be used specifically to purchase your HealthFlex plan. Your premium credit is an annual fixed dollar amount that you receive to apply toward the monthly cost of HealthFlex plan premiums. The credit will appear when you're selecting a health plan online during annual election or when you first enroll in HealthFlex. It will reduce the total premium to the actual amount you owe, and it is applied to premiums for your medical plan, as well as any dental or vision plan you may select. To understand how the premium credit works, let's compare 2 pastors in the same annual conference. In this example, the premium credit is $700 per month, or $8,400 per year. Both pastors receive the same premium credit amount. Through HealthFlex Exchange, Pastor John selects a plan that costs $800 per month. Because Pastor John's premium costs more than the $700 monthly premium credit amount, he is responsible for paying the difference. His church will deduct the extra $100 each month from Pastor John's paycheck for his health plan premiums. Pastor Judy, however, selects a plan that costs $600 per month, which is less than the $700 monthly premium credit amount. In this case, the $100 difference between the monthly premium, $600, and the monthly premium credit, $700, will be credited each month to Pastor Judy's health reimbursement account or health savings account, depending on which plan she selects. Pastor Judy can use the funds for her deductible, co-pays, or other eligible health care expenses, or she can save the money in her account for future health care expenses.
So with the premium credit means you're going to see the cost of all the plans, the amount of credit you have to apply to shop for the plans you choose. You can only use this premium credit on plans that have premiums. So it's that Apple plan, that combined medical, pharmacy, and behavioral health plan, dental, and vision if you choose. The money cannot be deposited into an FSA. When you go through annual election, you're going to see a running total on the right, and it's going to show how much has been applied to your credit, how much is left, how much you would owe. Lastly, you must enroll in a medical plan to get the premium credit. You cannot waive coverage and then just have the money deposited into a health account. I think the Pastor John and Pastor Judy example are pretty straightforward. I'm going to walk through them just quickly. Pastor John gets $700 in his premium credit, picks a plan for $800, so he owes the extra $100. Pastor Judy also gets a premium credit of $700. She buys down to a plan that costs $600, so that extra $100 gets deposited into an HRA or HSA, depending on which plan she chose, and it's going to be based upon the color of the leaf on that apple.
Most plans available through HealthFlex Exchange include a health savings account or health reimbursement account. These accounts allow you to pay for out-of-pocket medical expenses with money that isn't taxed. Make sure you consider the value of these health accounts when making your medical plan choice. Let's look at HSAs and HRAs more closely. Both types of accounts allow pre-tax funding contributed by your plan sponsor. Both are intended for eligible health care expenses. Both allow balances to roll over and build year after year, with no limit on the amount that accrues while you are in HealthFlex. And both accounts are compatible with an optional dependent care flexible spending account, which you can elect during annual election. 3 of the HealthFlex plan choices include an HSA, and 2 plans include an HRA. The HealthFlex HSA has some important differences from the HRA. For one thing, you have the option to add your own money to the HSA account, in addition to anything that may be deposited by the plan sponsor. But the total contribution from all sources is limited to an amount defined by the IRS. The money you deposit isn't subject to taxes. Furthermore, HealthFlex HSAs can earn interest depending on investment options. HRAs don't. If you leave HealthFlex or the UMC, you take your unspent HSA balance with you. It's yours no matter what. HRAs may not be yours forever. If you leave the UMC or waive HealthFlex coverage, You have 90 days to spend any remaining HRA balance. After 90 days, your unspent HRA funds are forfeited. But if you retire from the UMC or your plan sponsor, your HRA balance remains usable until the funds are exhausted. There is also an additional account option with all plans, a flexible spending account, where you can elect to contribute additional pre-tax dollars to pay for eligible medical expenses during the year. The Health Flexible Spending Account behaves differently with HSA plans than other plans. So ask your plan sponsor for more details if you are thinking about a flexible spending account with an HSA plan. If you have eligible dependents, you can have a dependent care flexible spending account to pay for child or elder care expenses with any HealthFlex plan you choose. It works the same with all plans. The HealthFlex Exchange brochure and handouts have more details about HSAs, HRAs, and FSAs.
So health accounts are a way to have money that you don't pay taxes on used to spend on your medical expenses. Earlier on, we talked about the health accounts that are pre-funded. This is just a repeat of those. So 2 HSA plans, the H1500 and the H2000, have pre-funded amounts. Again, those are available on January 1st. Both the HRA plans have pre-funded amounts. And we have 2 plans, the H3000, which is an HSA plan, and the B1000 that do not have any pre-funded amounts. Within those accounts, you have options in some to make your own contributions. So the HSA is a combination of employer money, individual money, or both. The HRA can only be employer money, so it is pretty much only going to be that pre-funded amount on January 1st unless you roll some over into the next year. And the FSA is personal contributions only. The dependent care account is another option for child care up to age 12 and certain elder care, and that works with any of the plans. Why contribute? The main reason is to save money on taxes for known medical expenses. We currently have 10,000 households in HealthFlex, and 95% of them have at least $300 a year in medical expenses. So for most people, putting away $300 is low to no risk of losing it. With HSAs and even HRAs, if you don't use them and it builds up over time, you can save for future expenses, both into retirement. And the HSA has additional tax advantages. If you look at $2,500 in healthcare expenses in a given year, which is not rare, it's on the higher side, honestly, but it's not rare. And if you're in the 22% tax bracket, so chosen because the value of the DAC puts it there and it's an easy number to understand, you would save $550 just by putting that aside in a health account and using it for future expenses. The triple tax advantage of the HSA is that you're making pre-tax contributions, so you're lowering your taxable income. The earnings and interest accrue tax-free, and if you distribute those by using them to pay for medical expenses, you also wouldn't pay taxes on those. An additional benefit is that once you've retired, if you have money in that account that you'd like to use for something else, you will not pay a penalty. You just pay your normal interest rate on any withdrawals. Comparison of the HSA and HRA. Again, a detailed comparison exists in your folder showing the comparison of the health accounts. Both have no rollover limit. The HSA, once the money is in that account, it is yours. The HRA, you could lose if you terminate or waive HealthFlex. We do give you 90 days notice to spend that down. It does not earn interest in an HRA. It can earn interest and dividends in an HSA. The HRA does not have annual limits, but the HRA does not have annual limits, but the HSA does. The IRS sets those annually. For 2019, as of right now, it's $3,500 for an individual, $7,000 for a family. If you're over age 55, you can add $1,000 to each of those, making it $4,500 and $8,000. The HRA can only be used for medical expenses, and when I say medical, it's medical, pharmacy, behavioral health, also dental and vision, so any of those expenses for someone who is covered on the plan at that time. The HSA has a little more flexibility It's for dependents, it's for spouse or dependent children up to age 19. If they are students, it is up to age 24. That's a little different than plan coverage rules. You can cover any dependent up to age 26 regardless of them being in school. The HSA requires up to age 24 only, and only if they're a student. The HSA has a $2 a month fee assessed by BNY Mellon on a monthly basis for those balances less than $5,000. The HRA does not have a fee, but if your HRA balance ever gets to below $100, we may ask you to spend that down. We'll still give you the 90 days notice, but we don't want to spend money on account maintenance for $25 balances for years and years. The flexible spending accounts, there's two types. There's the healthcare or medical flexible spending account. If I say FSA and don't indicate differently, that's the one I'm talking about. And then there's the dependent care account. The flexible spending account, a nice benefit of the medical side is that we have a $500 rollover. So if 95% of households spend at least $300 on healthcare every year, and you put $500 into your FSA and just have a really great year and you're in that 5% that you don't use it, the $500 would carry over. If you terminate coverage for either of these accounts, you can only file claims back to while you were covered on the plan. So make sure that you're taking into account if you would have the opportunity to use the full amount through the course of the year. The annual limits both have a floor of $300. You must contribute at least $300 to open one of these accounts. The FSA, you can contribute up to $2,650. The dependent care, up to $5,000. There are some special considerations if you have HSA contributions and FSA contributions. I'll get into those a little bit. I'm going to try to keep that short because it impacts a very, very small percentage of people. And then the dependent care account works a little differently than the FSA when it comes to what money is available. When you make a healthcare FSA election, the full balance is available on January 1st, and then you'll have it deducted from your check throughout the year, but you don't have to wait until it's deducted before you can use it. On the dependent care account, you do. So 1/12 is going to be withdrawn from your paycheck every month and made available on or around the 5th of the month for reimbursement. Lastly, the dependent care account is not linked to that HealthFlex card. You generally have to ask WageWorks to send a check to your provider or to reimburse you via check or direct deposit. Being that the HSA and FSA are the two accounts that you can put money into, and here I'm talking about the healthcare FSA, you might wonder, how do I choose which one to contribute to? For the overwhelming majority of people, you would not want to contribute to an FSA unless you have already hit the limits on your HSA. The reason is because the FSA, you could lose anything over $500. The HSA, once it's there, it's yours. You could save it. You could use it in retirement. The FSA doesn't afford you that. The very rare instances where you might want to contribute to an FSA, even though you're contributing to an HSA, are one, you've maxed out your HSA and you have set dental and vision expenses that you would want to use. The other would be that you're maxing out your HSA, also maxing out your FSA, and you know you're going to hit this statutory IRS limit, which I'll talk about briefly. For those of you on the plan now who had an FSA and an HRA, you might remember that the card has stacking rules. WageWorks knows that the FSA is going to be lost if you don't spend it. So for expenses that can be reimbursed, it's always going to take from the FSA first and then the HRA, because you could carry that HRA money over. When you have an FSA and an HSA, it gets more complicated. The IRS, for a qualified health savings account plan, does not want you to be able to use FSA money to help meet that deductible. It's kind of a safeguard against highly compensated employees getting an added benefit. So if you have an FSA and an HSA, the FSA will pay first for dental or vision, but the HSA will always pay first for medical, pharmacy, and behavioral health until you meet the limit that the IRS says you must meet towards your deductible. That is $1,350 and $2,700 for family. For my family, because we have the family deductible on an HSA plan, it means that in order for us to get this switch flipped, we could spend $2,700 in expenses, show WageWorks that we've made those payments, and then they would flip the switch and we could start getting paid from their FSA. I went the simpler route. I don't contribute to an FSA. I just have my HSA. Once they flip that switch, it will come from the FSA first and then the HSA for all expenses. Again, this is very, very rare. That's probably more time spent on it than I need to because most people won't do this. If you're thinking about contributing to both an FSA and an HSA, I would say to contact EY. You're probably familiar with them on the pension side. They have all the information about our HSA plan and the investment options, so they're a great resource to help you figure out what you want to do. Quick recap. Any of those pre-funded amounts that are built into the plan are available on January 1st. Any personal contributions are going to hit on or around the 5th of the month after they've been taken from your paycheck. The FSA needs to be spent in the current year except for the $500 that can roll over. The HSA and HRA will just roll over on their own. And then you get some tax savings on the FSA and HSA if you make contributions. The HRA, you would be able to use that money to pay for medical expenses, and then you're not paying taxes on those dollars. With the number of choices available to you, going to go through now the decision support that's available, which is mainly, again, this year, Alex.
Through HealthFlex Exchange, you'll shop for a health plan like you shop for other goods and services. By comparing options, comparing pricing, comparing features. Then, select the plan or plans that best fit your needs. Consider your budget and how you would handle your share of unplanned medical expenses. Would you rather pay more for your health benefits each month, but have a closer safety net and pay less out of pocket if you have a big expense, like an emergency room visit or hospital stay? Or do you prefer to pay less each month, knowing that you may have to save some of that money to pay a higher share of costs when you use healthcare services, or if something unexpected happens? Your decision may vary based on how many people you cover and whether your premium credit increases if you cover family members. Also, remember that if you cover family members, you can contribute more to an HSA, but you also have a higher family deductible for the HSA plans. You want to think about how regularly you or your family members see doctors or take prescriptions, and you might want to factor in potential procedures your doctor may recommend. One plan is no better or worse if you need to use frequent services, but you want to think about how much premium you'll pay each month and how much you might pay for out-of-pocket expenses for each of the plans, so you can choose the one that works best for you. So yes, there's a lot to think about when choosing a plan. That's why Wespath offers you Alex, the virtual benefits counselor. Alex will walk you through your plan options and explain how your premium credit works long before you actually have to choose a plan. Use Alex to learn more about each plan and to compare different plans side by side so you can make an informed decision when making your choice. Alex can help with your dental and vision plan choices too, and also help you estimate how much to set aside in an HSA or FSA. Find Alex on the HealthFlex WebMD website. Any information you enter is confidential. You can log in 24/7 to use Alex as often as you like. Alex walks you through plan cost scenarios based on what benefits you think you'll use next year. The out-of-pocket costs shown by Alex are just estimates and not a guarantee of pricing. Wespath's recommendation is that you pick the plan that provides the best projected overall value based on your needs and is not based solely on monthly premium amount. We recommend making notes as you walk through Alex in the How Do I Choose brochure, designed to guide you in making your choice prior to annual election. If you aren't comfortable or still have questions after reading the brochure and using Alex, you can speak with a Wespath Health Team representative during annual election for help.
The two main pieces we have for How Do I Choose or making your election are that How Do I Choose booklet and, of course, Alex. Many of you are probably familiar with how to get to Alex, logging into HealthFlex WebMD website. That's where you would get to, electronic copies of all the handouts, other things like cost estimators, provider finders. Alex is available right now. Again, it is not linked, or I shouldn't say again, it is not linked this year to your annual election. So getting your recommended plan in Alex and choosing what you want to be covered in will not translate over to annual election. So the back of that How Do I Choose booklet is where you can take some notes, so when you go into annual election, you'll remember what you wanted to take. Alex is a little different, so there will be a couple new jokes probably, some funny, some not. But again, takes about 20 minutes to complete still, maybe a little longer. It is, again, I think even more critical this year because of the amount of choices you have. Remember that when Alex is showing the cost, it knows what the premiums are. It knows what your premium credit is. So when it's talking about the overall cost of the plan, it's how much you're paying each month to have insurance, plus how much in services you're planning to use. And that's just the one thing that I would recommend, is make sure you're looking at the total cost of healthcare, and when you do that, that you're including the premiums you're paying each month. Alex will still recommend a plan. He'll let you know why he came to that choice if you want him to. If you have expenses, meaning if you've said you're going to do more than just get checkups and nothing else, Alex is going to ask you if you want to hear how you could save some money by using health accounts, and it will use the costs of the services that you're planning on getting, plus the plan design, to know this is what it sounds like you should put away or could put away to save some money on healthcare expenses, because this is what you're likely to spend. We have additional booklets and FAQs and benefit booklets and summary plan descriptions all available again on WebMD if you want more detail than what's in the side-by-sides in the How Do I Choose booklet. And then another feature of WebMD that you can utilize next year is to make your own mid-year changes. This is rare, but let's say you go away for the weekend to get married and now want to add your new spouse to coverage. You can certainly do that, but Betsy needs to know about that spouse first, because if she doesn't, they won't exist in the system. Once they exist in the system, same thing with a newborn child or an adopted child, then you can add them to benefits. Or another scenario where you would use this is perhaps your spouse gets a new job and they're going to take that insurance and need to drop from your plan, or decides to take a new job where they don't like the insurance there and is coming on your plan. You can make those changes online as well. You can still contact the conference for those, but note that they must be done within 31 days. That's the standard life event window that's allowed. The video talked about contacting the health team if you have questions. I will say that the health team is a great resource to contact year-round, though I would avoid contacting them during annual election. If you remember, I said we have 10,000 households in HealthFlex. This is the entire team. It is 5 people. And while they're very, very good at what they do, there's still only 5 of them. During annual election, we actually use Business Solver to help take calls because they are trained on our plans, and it's their system that we're using for annual election. We've found that a lot of times people have issues or questions, I should say, about the system, and Business Solver is the best position to answer those. When you get information in a couple weeks about annual election, the Business Solver phone number is going to be the one that's reflected there, and that's who you should call during annual election.
During annual election, you'll enroll in a HealthFlex plan online through the HealthFlex WebMD website. Log in to reach your personalized WebMD homepage. From here, you can still access Alex Benefits Counselor if you haven't already, or if you want to take another look. To make your elections, click on HealthFlex Plan Benefits, or the annual election link to begin your elections. The preferences you selected with Alex don't automatically translate into your elections. So make sure you take this step. Once you have compared monthly premium costs, expected out-of-pocket costs, and reimbursement saving account values, make your choice. While online, you'll first see the medical and pharmacy plan options and the full cost of plan premiums and how the cost is offset by your premium credit. Once you enter the plan you choose, the price you will pay per month will be shown. Remember, your annual conference or employer will fund a fixed dollar premium credit that helps offset your cost for plan premiums. Once you select a plan, your premium credit amount from the conference or employer is applied to your plan purchase. If your premium credit doesn't cover the full cost of your plan, you'll see the extra contribution you owe, which will need to be withheld from your pay. View your dental and vision plan options and prices, then make your selections. You must cover the same people for dental and vision benefits that you cover for medical and pharmacy. Your premium credit can help pay for dental and vision premiums too. If you'd like to contribute to a flexible spending account or health savings account for next year, annual election is also the time to make those elections. After you pick your HealthFlex plan, you will see prompts for optional FSA elections. And if you select an HSA plan, you will also see a prompt for optional pre-tax contributions to your HSA. For the HSA election, be sure to accept the HSA terms and conditions when prompted. Approve your selections and print a copy for your records before you sign out. Review the brochure and other materials provided by your plan sponsor and Wespath if you'd like more details about HealthFlex Exchange. HealthFlex Exchange is designed to give you more plan choices, more flexibility to select the plan that fits your needs, and more control over how much you want to pay for a health plan, balanced with risk. With the broad provider networks, high-quality wellness programs, and numerous resources that have always been a part of HealthFlex.
Alex is available now, updated for 2019 if you want to leave here and can't wait to hear what new jokes Alex has and what plans he recommends. Annual election is going to open on Halloween, October 31st, and go through November 15th. During AE, you're going to make your elections for 2019. Again, you'll have 6 medical, pharmacy, behavioral health plans to choose from, including the 2 that were available to you for this year, and then the same 3 dental and 3 vision plans that were available. And you can choose the same you had last year or different. It's up to you. You'll have that premium credit to shop for your plans, see what the true cost is. You can make your FSA and HSA personal contributions if you choose. And then again, if you want to contribute to the HSA, or if you just want that built-in funding to the HSA, make sure you accept the terms and conditions. If you just want the money that's built into the plan, the H1500 or the H2000, that pre-funded contribution, accept the terms and conditions, but put your personal contribution to 0, and then you'll get that plan sponsor or employer funded amount. If you do not go online to make elections, you will not necessarily have the plan that you have today. If the plan you have today is the H2000 without an HSA, no dental and exam core vision, then that's exactly what you will get. Because if you don't go through annual election, that is the given plan, the default plan. And you will not have personal FSA or HSA contributions. Reminder when you go through, please make sure you review, approve, and confirm your elections. You should see a confirmation number at the end. Also, when you're done, if you click your name at the top of the screen, you can see your benefit confirmation. Print it if you would like to review it in print. Sometimes I get sick of staring at a computer screen and want to see in black and white exactly what I chose. So I'll print it out and even potentially keep it for my records. You can go in through annual election and change your mind as many times as you want, but whatever the last one you get a confirmation number is, those will be your benefits for 2019. Again, please contact Business Solver if you have questions during annual election. Now, if it's annual election time and you have a question about, why a claim was denied or another question about your current year benefits, please direct those to the health team. But if it's about annual election, if you're looking at your 2019 benefits and have a question, start with Business Solver. They're also open an hour later than the health team. The health team is only there till 6 p.m. Central Time, which I think is 5 p.m. your time. So you'd get an extra hour of being able to talk to Business Solver. Quick timeline of where we are in the whole annual election process. Hopefully you've gotten the mailing that went out about HealthFlex Exchange. I know that this session was not on that letter, so I can't say for sure that you did get that mailing. Alex is available now, starting October 31st. You can make your elections through November 15th. Alex will be available throughout. If you are getting a new debit or ID card, those should arrive between Christmas and New Year's. The WageWorks cards are good for 3 years, so if you have one, you should not expect to get a new one. The medical ID card may change depending on which plan you choose if it's different from the one you have today. If you choose the same plan and you have a health account now, you should not expect to get new cards. And then January 1st, your new benefits will be in effect. In addition, in January, you will get a mailer about some well-being programs. I've got a handful of slides now that I'm going to go through on well-being, and then Betsy's going to come up and talk about cost. Within our 5 dimensions of health, we've had some changes for next year. The first one is on health coaching. Health coaching is actually going to be going away through WebMD. We're going to be focusing and have a concerted effort towards tackling type 2 diabetes. So we're partnering with a group called Amada Health, and you'll hear more about them in January. If you haven't already signed up for NutriSavings, please do. It's a good way to find a healthy alternative at the grocery store by just scanning the barcode and seeing if there's something better for you. There's also a way to earn some money. It's largely, earning pennies here and there by choosing healthy alternatives. Sometimes there will be a deal. If you buy cucumbers this week, you get some extra. So take a look at that if that's something you would like to do. EY financial planning, again, if you're thinking about making contributions to an HSA, whether you're going to be contributing to an FSA or not, I would contact EY. MD Live, we have a handout for MD Live in your folder as well. As costs continue to rise and as more and more plans don't have those co-pays for a doctor's visit, and as it's harder and harder to get in to see a doctor when you're sick, for certain ailments, you can contact MD Live and they can help you over the phone or via video chat. For all of the HSA and HRA plans, it's a $40 flat fee, and for the B1000, it's a $20 flat fee. And then we continue to have the 50% subsidy on Weight Watchers, both for their online program and local meetings. 2019 incentives remain largely unchanged from this year. So wellness points, you have the ability to earn up to 150 wellness points in the calendar year. And if you earn those 150, that translates to $150 in Pulse Cash. That is for participant and spouse. So $150 each. Virgin Pulse Rewards, hopefully you are all tracking your activity and earning up to $40 a quarter or $160 per year. And then the Blueprint for Wellness screening, we give you $100 to get your screening. That's participant and spouse each to just get your screening every year at annual conference or at various Quest diagnostic sites. You just need to sign up online or call them up and schedule an appointment. And then the Health Quotient online risk assessment, where you go in, take the Health Quotient to avoid getting an increased deductible in the next plan year. We use that data to help decide what programs we need to put into place. It's not individualized at all. We just know X number of people reported this. That's the data we use to enhance our programs year over year. The 2 key changes to these programs for next year, Blueprint for Wellness and Health Quotient, instead of having the narrow windows we had this year, it's going to be January 1st through July 31st for both. So wider window hopefully gives people more of an opportunity to take them. For those who bring your Blueprint for Wellness results to your doctor, gives you a much broader time to get those diagnostic screenings done and have the information to bring to your doctor's office. So quick recap, participant and spouse, if they participate in all those programs, can earn $410 each, $820 total for the year. That is all that I have.